Good morning, friends. Welcome to this live stream. This is, I'm reaching out to you from my library and directly into your social media. And today is October 28th. So let us find out what are the historic incidents that happened today on October 28th. Well, to begin with, the first important incident is declaring Beijing as the official capital of the China. This happened on October 28th. On 1420, it was declared as a capital by the Ming Dynasty, and since then it has been the capital of China. So it's a very historic city. It has an history even before 1420, but it has been constantly being used as the capital of China since October 28, 1420. Let's move to the next one. And this is about Denmark, the Danish king called Christian the First. And he was the first Christian sort of to be crowned by the Christian method of coronation, and given the title of the king of Denmark in the capital city called Copenhagen, which is the capital of Denmark, on October 28, 1449. So let's move to the next one. This is about the Christopher Columbus. As we know that Christopher Columbus was a competitor of Vasco da Gama in race of finding India. Vasco da Gama was a Portuguese and so was Christopher Columbus, and both were contemporaries. So Vasco da Gama decided to take a safer route and basically from the ocean going towards the east, because they knew that India was in the east and they wanted to basically reach India for trade purposes, for spices, for gold and jewelry, etc. But Columbus wanted to propagate a totally different idea, and he went west because by the time, because of the Renaissance, it was well known, well understood that Earth is like a globe. So if you go west, then you can probably beat Vasco da Gama in finding India. And that was his reason for traveling towards the west from Europe, crossing the Atlantic Ocean. So in a sense, it was very pioneering, it was very daring, because nobody knew what lies ahead in an open ocean. So the trip of Columbus was funded by Spain, believe it or not by Portuguese monarch, but by the Spanish monarch called Isabella. So even though he was Portuguese, he was actually working for the Spanish monarch, and he actually stumbled upon the New World, which is now known as Americas. Unfortunately, he never reached the mainland of North America. He actually got entangled in the Bahamas region and found so many islands there. So today on October 28th in the year 1492, Christopher landed on Cuba. Cuba is a fairly large island. It's is a separate country today as we know it, and it claimed Cuban territory in the name of Spanish monarch and called it Juana. So this is on October 28th in the year 1492. All right, let's move to the next one. Well, we have all read Gulliver Travels. Gulliver Travel is an amazing fantasy, and even if you read it today, it is quite a fantastic story. So this was written by a gentleman called Jonathan Swift, and this was published, the comic or the novel was published in the year 1726 in London on October 28th. So I think it's an important date to remember, because Gulliver Travel is probably the best classic for all ages, and you can actually imagine what will happen if you encounter different species or even aliens, what will happen and what kind of interaction you can expect. So I think all those examples are given in Gulliver Travels. All right, let's move to the next one. We all know cotton. Cotton is responsible for the clothes that we wear, and also the cottonseed oil we use. And it's very versatile. It's a very fibrous material produced naturally by plants. So in order to fulfill your need for cotton fiber, and you want to create your hoses, and so many other things are made of cotton. It's a very versatile fiber. So the challenge there is to extract the fiber from the seed, because in nature it is designed to fly away and carry the cotton seed far off, so that it can germinate and produce the next generation of cotton plants. So to extract the fiber from the cotton seed was a challenge, because it's very tightly woven. So for the first time, a machine was invented. Previously it was done by hand, and that used to damage certain fiber. So a machine was invented by Eli Whitney in the US, and this machine is called cotton gin, which will separate the fiber from the seed neatly and without breaking the fibers. So this machine was called cotton gin machine. It was patented in the year 1793 on October 28th. Important date. All right, let's move to the next one. Well, we all know that Michael Faraday did not got any formal education. He was son of a blacksmith, and yet he understood the electromagnetism very well, and he defined the relationship between electricity and magnetism. And he also defined, without even knowing, that there is motion of electron which is actually happening at the speed of light. So today, if we go back and analyze the Faraday's law of electricity, we can actually deduce the speed of light accurately, which Michael Faraday did not know. However, he actually demonstrated for the first time that you can actually produce electricity artificially, and he demonstrated his device, which he called dynamo, which is nothing but electric generator which we use today in everyday life. And this demonstration happened on 1831 on October 28th, and this date actually changed the world as we know it today. So I would like to say that a blacksmith's son changed the world. All right, let's move to the next one. Today, in the year 1886, the Statue of Liberty was dedicated to the nation of United States by then President Grover Cleveland on October 28th in the year 1886. And for those who are not aware of the history of Statue of Liberty, the French supported Washington efforts to defeat the British in the USA. And because of that, there is a lot of friendship or bilateral relationship between Germany and France, because France played a major role for the independence of United States of America from the clutches of the colonizers, as we know them as Britishers. And because of that, the torchbearer of the liberty was implemented, which is nothing but democracy with liberty. And this statue is a work of art, is engineering marvel. It is actually made on a iron or a steel frame, and the statue is actually not stone statue, although it looks like a stone statue. It's made of the copper panels which are fitted very neatly. So this was first manufactured in France, then disassembled, shipped to United States, again assembled. So it's a gift from France, nation of France, to USA. And this statue was dedicated to United States by the president on 1886, October 28th. So it's very interesting, basically, the history of Statue of Liberty. Today, Statue of Liberty can also be seen off the coast of Tokyo. There are more statues, and if you happen to go to Paris, you will see Statue of Liberty in every nook and corner, the small ones in every park, not such large ones, but the small ones are available and can be seen everywhere in Paris. All right, let's move to the next one. Let's talk about Czechoslovakia, which is now known as Czech Republic. So, believe it or not, the Austrian Empire ruled over today Hungary, and well, Hungary does not exist today because Hungary further broke down into three other nations based on ethnicity, basically religious divide. But Czechoslovakia was also ruled by the Austrian government, Austrian monarch. The Czechoslovakia basically got their independence in 1918 on October 28th, and the father of the nation who led the revolution against the Austrian occupation was Thomas Masaryk. His photo is here, and he is the father of the nation of Czech Republic. So important incident that happened, especially important for European, as we know, European Union as we know it today. All right, the last fact is, we all know that the Indian uprising was against the British colonizers who were forcibly ruling India, and they were basically marginalizing Indians. Indians had a lot of restriction in their own country. They could not go to places where British were living, and they were mistreated based on the color of the skin. And there was an uprising led by Mahatma Gandhi, and this was the non-violent way of basically exerting your rights, demanding your rights. So on October 28th in the year 1928, Lala Lajpat Rai, a local leader in Lahore, which is in Pakistan today, were actually carrying out a silent protest. They were not even shouting slogans. They were actually carrying out a silent protest against the British Commission in Lahore. They were lathi charged very brutally, and in this lathi charge, Lala Lajpat Rai, who was a leader of that contingent, got very bad injuries on his head, and unfortunately he died after this incident. So October 28th is a very sad day in the year 1928 for Indian politics, and also for the freedom movement of India. All right, so I think these are some of the incidents which happened today, important incidents, and I'm very pleased to basically bring directly to you every day at 10:30. If you have any questions, any suggestions, feel free to shoot. But you have a great day ahead, and I'll catch you again on Monday next week. Bye bye for today.